Todd Labrador is the only practicing Mi'kmaq canoe builder, period. His canoes are housed in several major museums not only in Canada, but also abroad. He's a cultural archaeologist, a time traveler seeking to learn, understand, and preserve the knowledge and worldview of his ancestors, who lived sustainably on the east coast of what is now Canada for millennia. Todd is also an artist who paints and makes traditional drums decorated with designs derived from the ancient petroglyphs carved in the rocks of his Nova Scotia homeland. If we were setting out to build a canoe like this one, where would we start? What do we have to have? What do we have to do?
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I love apprentices because digging roots in the forest is really difficult. So you go out in the forest and all this on the edge here, the spruce root. So there's a lot of work digging the roots in the forest. But I guess I got ahead of myself. Of course, you need the birch bark. It's without the birch bark, you don't have a canoe, and it's not just any birch. It's a special thickness and quality of a tree, and it doesn't have to be a huge tree. It can be, I've used pieces 8 inches in diameter, but the bark was nearly a 1/4 inch thick, and most trees the bark is paper. So it's a matter of finding, I always say if the quality is good enough, it can be the thickness of a loonie, 1/8 of an inch or so, and then you can build a canoe. So that would be the thing we'd have to find the tree, plan ahead. When I do this, I like to plan way ahead, because harvesting times is winter bark. It's a certain time of year you harvest winter bark. Summer bark is another time, usually in July or late June when the fireflies come out at night. Once you see the fireflies, that tells us that the bark will peel for summer bark. And my father would take me in the woods and show me how to get birch bark, and he'd show me how to get spruce roots, or show me the plants and the medicines. So I learned those things. I'm just really interested. So and now I seem to be passing that on and teaching, like my grandchildren or anybody else that wants to learn. So now I get to the point where the elders are saying, well, if you have that knowledge, you have a responsibility. And the responsibility is, if you have that knowledge, you have the responsibility to pass it on so that we can keep it going. So I didn't start out that way thinking that's what I'm going to do.
Well, as a young man, you're not an elder. That's right. You get to be that after all these years of experience, right?
Yeah. So, and the older I get, the more I realize how very important this is, but also respect of everything, respect of the wood, respect of the birch, respect of the roots, and respect of the traditions and culture, and in respect, when I harvest anything, I make the offering of tobacco to ask permission for the tree so that I can use it in a respectful way. So the thing is to try to use all of it, try to use all the tree, and to respect the tree in that way. So that's my goal. Sometimes I'm not able to use all the tree, but I would prefer if I could, use all the tree. Yeah, and saying that sometimes the landowner will allow you to take the tree, and sometimes they won't, and sometimes they'll allow you to take the bark, and things like that. So the goal is to try to be respectful and use everything, because our ancestors did that for thousands of years, and I always say, yeah, our ancestors lived right down there. Go down there and tell me where they damaged anything. They didn't. They used what they had to, what they needed, and they respected it. And a little different than today. You put your heart and soul into it. It's always hard to let them go, because a piece of you goes with them. But it's good to see them used and be appreciate it. So yeah, so that's a good thing. And if you can give it to a museum or a community that really appreciates. The first one that I built in 2004 was for a community that it had been 100 years since they had their last birch bark canoe. And this summer I'm going back to that same community and building another one. It's almost like a big circle, So it's a
Beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
very nice. Yeah.
Todd Labrador, Mi'kmaq canoe builder, artist, and sage, a man whose work and materials grow directly out of the soil and the culture in which he grew himself. We've met and learned from a number of remarkable Indigenous thinkers and artists on the Green Interview, including Cree elder and author Edmund Matachewaban, legal philosopher John Burroughs, and Awahun leader Santiago Manuel Valera. It's been a rare privilege, a mind-expanding experience. For the Green Interview, I'm Silver Donald Cameron. Willalam, which is Mi'kmaq for thank you.